Now let's look at activity 1, and we'll do the first part of it, which is to access the files. So you can see them here. I've got them shown on the Google Drive, and here they are shown in my VMware. Schuster, Spring 22, 330, week 6. And you'll see, wow, there's all these parts in here. So first of all, you'll see that there's samples of what your drawing should look like, and there are the IPTs. And over here, you'll see the same thing in something called packaged Inventor files. And so what does that mean? And you'll see a whole bunch of other content center, design, old version presets. Now, you've probably seen by now that in Inventor, when you've got an item and you want to, let me go ahead and open it all up. This item that we've looked at, I can't just save this and send it because this is made up of a whole bunch of different parts. And so if I want to send this to somebody, I have to do what's called package it, so that all the things that are referred to in this can be sent at once. If you do your save as, you see something called pack and go. Package the currently active file and all of its reference files into a single location. So that's really important for you to know. If you want to send an assembly to somebody, you really need to send all the parts of the assembly. And that can be pretty tedious. So Inventor gives you a function called pack and go. And that's what I did for you here. I did the pack and go. Here it is, pack and go log, so that you know what's in there. And you can see what's up. Like if I open that up, it shows where I found everything. Look, there's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, and it really packs up everything. So that's an important thing to sort of know about. I did the pack and go to my VMware drive, and I did my pack and go to the Google Drive. So that's a little bit about Inventor files. So now what we want to do is open the reducer module IAM file. So I'm going to close up this 48:1 Gearbox, and I'm going to go open that. And here I am. I'm in my S drive. Week 6, and it says to open up the IAM. That's my reducer module assembly. And there it is. And what are we supposed to do once it opened up? That was a relief. It opened up without any problems. I want to review the assembly navigation taskbar because there's some interesting things for you to see over here. And that's this thing. So I can look at it in modeling, or I can look at it in assembly. And assembly just adds in how things were put together. Okay, and so over here I can see it's made from a housing. And in the housing there are some things that have happened, right? There's some work accesses and inserts and mates that have all been done to make this work. But the main thing is I've got a housing, I've got spur gears, and I've got an end plate. And the spur gears are spur gear 1.1 and spur gear 2.1. And I can go find out all that data about those as we did last week. So I've really got 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And that's cool. I've got my 4 parts. And I want to be able to identify those 4 parts if somebody wants to go find them on a shelf in our storeroom somewhere and put them together. But that's the important thing, is you know how things are found, where they're called out, what they are, and that I can find all 4 of those. The next thing is identify the individual parts. So your goal here is to look at this and see if you have a part number in the part log. Look at this See if you have a part number in the part log. Look at each of these and find their part number in your parts log. That's going to be critical later on. Okay, so you need to be able to find those. Now, you don't have your end plate in there yet. So for now, you can just call it end plate. Or you can kind of jump ahead and put that in right now and just call it end plate without having a drawing or anything. Finally, note that this is not the complete gearbox, right? We've already shown if this were to be complete, it would need something to cover this end. It would need some bolts and it would need some shafts. Okay, this is what's called the Gearbox Module. It's a reducer module. It is an assembly, but it is not a complete gearbox. But it's a useful one, which we kind of showed how we can use this to create bigger and more complex assemblies later on. So this is what's called a reducer module or a gearbox module. And it has enough parts so that when it's used over and over and over again, it can simplify our overall document package. So there we go. That is our activity 1. We talked about packaged Inventor files. We got it. We found the one we're looking for and we opened it. We saw where all the parts are identified in the nav bar, and then in your parts list, you'll want to identify which one is which. You want to actually have a part number for those pulled up. And I'm not going to show you how to do that because yours are in there with your own part numbers. Okay, and then you'll note that this is actually, maybe I'd better show that to you. Let me go find the I'll do another little video right after this one to show you how to do that, how to do your parts log.